Hello, we're back. My name is Seth Juarez. This is Channel 9. We're live here at the Seattle Washington Convention Center. We are live, so you're going to need to leave your sailor mouth at home, okay? This is how it started. I'm sorry.
This is
when we talk about distributed.
This is the last show. So this is like this is Channel 9 After Dark.
We're gonna show it out.
This is Channel 9 After Dark.
Because when you talk about distributed computing, you've got to like sort of turn some things off, because if you have a problem,
it's like, you know what it's like? It's like those 3D sort of pictures, right?
Yes.
That you like kind of
You
squint
stare
your
at.
eyes and you like cross your eyes
that
a
a
little
bear?
bit.
I mean,
It's like, is that a bear in a forest, or is it a lighthouse?
we don't know.
It's a schooner. Is what it is.
So I did not even know you were going to show up. Like literally, like I went to his condo and I was like knocking on the window. Can you come to my show? Can you come to my show? Dude shows up. He's like, "Hey, am I going to be on your show, Seth?" I'm like, what are you talking?
Well, look, here's the deal.
Tell me. Obviously,
We should introduce the
Yes,
whole
yeah,
group. You're so rude.
Yeah, sorry.
You're so rude. This is like a one-on-one conversation.
I am literally a horrible person.
This is why I don't want to be on their show. Like Golaz, I was like, Golaz, you need a better host, is what I said, and this is true. Mark, please introduce yourself.
I'm Mark. I'm Mark Fussell. I work on Service Fabric. Hence this marvelous T-shirt
Nice,
here.
nice.
This
Why
is
aren't you
stunning.
representing, man?
This is
I represent
vibrant
everything.
orange.
Vibrant, is that the actual name of the color?
Vibrant orange is the color.
Dang,
Yeah, I know.
this is
So
good
standard.
stuff.
Yeah, so
That's-
Service Fabric. Yeah.
That's you know what, it takes a distributed system to find the right color. That's what you need. You need to run the
They
system.
ran that
They ran
inside
that.
of Azure Service
It took a
Fabric.
while.
Several months.
Several months,
many months.
To determine the right
many
color.
months,
Yes.
right.
So look, I hear about Azure Service Fabric.
You want me to introduce myself to?
Everyone knows who you are,
I don't know
right?
if that's true. I'm Corey.
literally the worst host. I'm like,
is-
my producer's sitting here laughing at me.
I think she's gone. She
She
left.
literally left.
She left.
She pulled up. So Corey, tell us who you are.
Yeah,
my
so
friend.
I am Corey Sanders, compute.
So all of that. For
I run the compute team in
Nice.
Azure. Yeah.
all of that.
So that's
is just,
VMs, VM scale
compute.
sets,
Nice.
Service Fabric,
Right.
container service,
Batch.
so batch,
ARM.
ARM.
He
Thank you.
really
yeah,
like-
No, he knows better than us.
Shut up.
Tell
Tell
me
me more.
what else do I do?
Tell us
What
what
else
he
do I
does.
do?
It's everything that's useful.
He's looking for a raise.
Right,
dude.
it's review period. It's review time.
Yeah.
So Service Fabric, give me the down low. Why is it important? How can we use
I'm
it?
gonna turn that over to Mark.
Well,
He's like looking at you. It is review
Well,
time.
first, Service Fabric is the thing that we build a lot of our services on.
Okay.
And so, Cosmos DB, Azure SQL databases, IoT Hub, so it's a platform that we bet our company on and build a lot of those services on. So that's the thing that makes it critical to our infrastructure. But, what makes us different is that, we're not like other cloud providers. We give you the same bits that we depend ourselves on to build these platforms.
Oh.
And that's
a
pretty
call-out.
unique.
That's a call out.
That's pretty unique.
that is
I
unique.
think that's pretty unique. And you can
He's
take
going to
it.
the mattresses right now.
Yeah, you can take it. And what's more is it's not just Azure as well. Like so many of our customers love to put it on their own data centers in their on-premise. And that is super cool. The fintech guys, healthcare guys, the people who've got all these regulations, the things that they can't go to cloud just yet. We're seeing this big hybrid story. They're deploying it on premise, and it's just taking off like
It's magical.
So hold on. Right? You said magical. My dev bits flipped. I'm like, hold on. Some dude in a checkered shirt is telling me.
I don't know why.
that
I don't know
this-
why you got to come after my shirt. I don't know why you got to come after my. This is
I'm wearing a checkered shirt.
It's a
on
great
Friday.
shirt.
It is. I'm wearing
yeah.
one just like it on Friday.
You want this one? I'll give you this shirt right now if you want it.
I don't know. I mean, is it that kind of show? I don't know.
It's whatever kind of show we want to be. And no one's watching anymore anyway.
No, my mom is still on. Okay,
So me
She
stripping
is
would
still-
not would go well or
I don't know.
not?
She might like it. I don't know. I'd have to call her.
Can we find out? Can we just? We're gonna need a minute. No, so sorry. Let's talk more about service.
let's talk about
Come on,
service
this
fabric.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, come
This
on,
is- you are
Corey,
literally the
you're
worst.
killing
Sorry.
it. You're killing. So look, how do you do on-premise and in the cloud Service Fabric?
Well, we have two different offerings, yes. So the on-premise one is we have a download installer. You can just take a set of machines, network them together, log on to one of them, give it a simple configuration file, say deploy. It copies it across a set of machines for you.
Are these VMs or real machines?
Whatever you want it to be. VMs, physical machines, can be in VMware. You doesn't matter. What it could be.
VMs are real machines, man.
Yeah,
Haven't you
yeah.
seen The Matrix?
No, I know. Like if you put a VM inside a VM, though, time slows down.
I did that exact demo today. Did you not see this?
No, I just know that that's the case.
We're supporting one of the things I announced today. We support nested virtualization with our next generation of sizes. You can put VMs. I did VM inside a VM inside a VM, and it went slower. It was I said I incepted.
Is that why this interview feels like it's taking a long time?
Okay, well,
then
that's the host.
Then you got the container in the VM, in the VM, in the VM. You got a container
in a VM, in a VM, in a VM, all managed by Service Fabric.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Like why? Okay. Why would you ever do that?
Why would you not do that? Is really the question, sir. Well, I mean, look. So you're spin up a VM and you want to go manage a set of solutions. So let's actually use Service Fabric as an example.
Got it.
You're deploying Service Fabric, and you want to go be able to manage within each node a set of applications using, let's say, Hyper-V containers.
Got it.
Hyper-V isolation, but with container-based support, you can now do that inside VMs in Azure because the virtualization stack can be nested. You see what I just did there?
Oh.
See what I did there?
Yeah. So you have VMs that are running multiple containers.
But those containers are protected by Hyper-V.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember, Hyper-V containers have their own kernel, each one of them, yes? So they're fully secure environments. So if you want your multi-tenant environment, Hyper-V VMs.
You can do a multi-tenant application using Hyper-V VMs, Hyper-V containers, on Service Fabric.
And I've heard, like, containerization to me when it first came out felt a little like squishy because you could go underneath from the kernel side and start to poke through and do stuff. But you're saying
we don't need to like call out all these issues.
But it's not like that anymore if you have Hyper-V virtualization, right? Because it's protected.
You got that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that and then the other.
See,
I got
you like how casual I'm sitting? I'm just like I'm so relaxed.
Yeah.
I had a beer before I came out here, guys. So this is.
Yeah,
it's late. If you guys aren't having a glass of wine out there, you should.
Especially if you're watching us right now.
If you're watching,
probably going to make it better.
If people are watching this at like 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, they're like, these guys are a bunch of. Anyway.
So tell me one more thing I had. Is it like we have 20 minutes of this?
This is amazing. Please stay with us.
So my question is, Service Fabric, the way you're describing it, feels still a little squishy to me. You know, it's like this.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You tell us. You said it.
When I'm trying, look, I heard about Azure Service Fabric, and it was you had to use a certain programming paradigm to use it.
I
that's
see.
It's a different thing now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
let's talk about what we announced today.
Well, that's what we announced today. We announced.
It's like almost
we announced that
stuff here.
Yeah, well, we announced today that
there's nothing on this paper.
Service Fabric is GA'd running Windows containers as an orchestrator. So you can just take any application that you have. So we've already been able to run just any executable. Just take a piece of code, say to Service Fabric, go and run this. 1,000 instances of it, whatever scale you want. But we just had more and more customers come, especially with containers now in Windows Server, saying, how do I just take existing applications, particularly like IIS applications, and deploy them into a Windows environment at scale? We can do that via containers. Service Fabric is now a GA container orchestrator. And so
here's what's cool. You take this compose language, right, and you can go and deploy on top of Service Fabric. But like so many of the other things that we're doing that we announced today, diversity and portability, you can take that compose file on those containers and you can deploy it somewhere else. So you won't ever want to, but if you decide, hey, I don't want to use Service Fabric anymore, but you've now used an open source model, you can go deploy it on top of Docker Enterprise, you can go deploy it on top of Kubernetes, right? And so the fact that we now support this entire Service Fabric, it means this developer portability is a real thing. This is truth, Seth. This is truth.
I'm tearing up here.
Look at this, and then we got the top.
They're doing like the top shot.
This is the like bring in the truth. Bring in the truth. Bring in the truth. It's going a little bit slower. It's a little bit awkward now, but bring in the truth. And the truth has arrived.
There it is.
This is like a miming.
Yeah, I love it.
Have you a professional mime? Well, okay, clearly not.
Clearly he's not.
We just learned that you are not.
I'm not. Yes.
So look, here's the other thing that I wanted to add.
Oh, someone said we're watching. Oh, thank you, Jess. Jess said we're watching, guys. That's
bless
it.
You.
Bless you, Jess.
Literally, someone's having a drink.
This show is for Jess. Do this one for Jess.
Okay, so Azure Service Fabric adds additional things, though, that others do not. Like, I've heard they have these really interesting data structures, quorum type stuff. I wanted to say quorum because it sounds really intelligent. Did it come out good?
No.
Oh,
well, yeah.
You've revealed your ignorance. So please go on.
Yeah, so we talk about this journey, and the first part of your journey might just be hosting some executables, hosting some container apps, moving just to use Service Fabric as a deployment management technology. Then the next part of your journey is, hey, I want to go into the next step down this microservices journey, add some additional functionality, maybe an API to get hold of some data, and how do I do that in a productive way?
Right.
Well, Service Fabric then provides you some programming models. There's reliable access, reliable services that helps you build those applications at scale and deploy them all and add that little bit in the journey that you can go down. Yeah, so
this is really what I think. When I think of Service Fabric and sort of the benefit and how people are using it, being able to take that container solution and extend it out into an application platform, that is really where the value prop is on Service Fabric. I mean, it really becomes you sort of don't have to choose between application PaaS platform and containers. You can slam them together.
Yeah.
You see them.
I'm still trying to decide what is the difference between, like, we had something called Azure Container Service. Do we still have that?
We do, of course.
What's the difference between ACS and Service Fabric?
Why you got to come at me with these questions?
I don't
late
know.
At night.
I understand
it's like super late.
Jess is watching. Okay, we got
to do this one for Jess.
Do it for Jess.
I will answer that question for Jess. I apologize for Seth and his rudeness.
So sorry.
Sorry. I can take this one. So here's the way to think about this. I think from a Service Fabric perspective, the nice thing about it is, sort of like I said, you don't have to choose between container and application platform. When you look at some of the solutions that we offer as part of ACS, a lot of those are actually open source solutions, right, that we deploy and manage, and so it includes Kubernetes. It includes DCOS Mesos, from Mesosphere and Docker Swarm, right? And the nice thing about those is they are fully open source solutions, right? They are, but they are geared towards pure orchestration, right, versus sort of the being able to graduate from an orchestration solution into a full application platform. And that's really sort of where I think Service Fabric shines.
So I'll let my ignorance show a little bit so you can...
Again. And this has been 15 minutes of your ignorance showing. We got another 15 minutes to go.
We got 15 minutes and 15 seconds. What am I getting more? And I know you answered this, but I didn't understand.
He literally just said it.
But it's like you said it, but I want to understand, what more am I getting? I'm trying to understand.
So orchestrating, stateful.
Go ahead. You get what more are you getting? You get the platform itself in terms of orchestration of containers, but then you get these productive programming models. So, for example, one of the key differentiators is we do stateful services.
Okay, that's what I was getting.
And this is a massive differentiator for us. And what that means is that you can build these co-located code and data close together. You heard a lot about code and data being co-located today on edge side of things, where we already do this inside Azure, inside Service Fabric. You can put this code, stateful services, and we manage all of the failover of both the data and the code. And it becomes a very big differentiating part of the platform. And as we look towards containers in the future, we're going to add that statefulness as well into container support as well.
Apparently other people are watching too, and they have questions.
There are. Yeah, so, some are questions, some are comments.
Okay, Code DJ, can Service Fabric Azure Functions connect to Azure VNet? Does it support domain
Service Fabric, of course.
Well, yeah, Service Fabric, you can see all the underlying infrastructure if that's what you want. You can connect up to VNets. That's exactly what people do the whole time. And you can put up to domain authentication if that's what. Yes.
That's awesome. So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Beach says, and we all have a glass in hand. Of course.
Thank you. And that's I wish I had it. I mean, who do I have to kill to get a glass of wine up here?
Seriously.
Go ask. All the nice things I said about you, and now nothing.
If we keep saying Golnaz, it's because she's our producer, and she's literally right there, seriously shaking her head. She might walk off any second.
She may walk off.
You might literally see color bars.
But this show runs itself, I think, right? So, I mean, are you doing anything? Wow.
Are we going to be able to use this later? All right.
We're never going to be able to show this again.
From Patrick, for on-premise Service Fabric, do we have any special hardware requirements?
No, sir. No. I mean, there's no special hardware requirements yet. Just a machine that you can deploy an OS to.
So I can on this machine, I can build my own Service Fabric.
Now, if you want to use containers, you need to use Server 2016.
True. If you need containers, you need Server 16 and deploy Docker on them as well.
So one time, I talked to Mark Rusinovich about this a year or two ago. Oh, he's like, oh, that guy.
I mean, he's all right.
He's talked
CTO of Azure.
He talked about the actor model in Service Fabric a lot. I mean, and I for some reason, and my ignorance is showing. Just
12 minutes left.
For some reason, I thought that the actor model was married to Azure Service Fabric. Clearly, I'm wrong.
What does the word married mean in this situation? Is like till death do us part sort of thing?
No, I thought that if I was doing something in Azure Service Fabric, I had to adhere to the actor model.
Oh no!
Okay, sorry.
No, my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you're married, you have to adhere to what your spouse tells you. Well, my wife. Same.
Yeah,
This is awkward.
No, I mean, one of the
Can we end early, please?
well, one of the beautiful things about Service Fabric is you can just mix and match whatever you want to.
Okay.
So if I want to bring a Java virtual machine and build a little app with axes on the side and stick a container in it and then stick another container in it and maybe an executable and bring some Go.
I'd love to see how he arranges his house. It's like all over the place. Like sink in the living room.
If you want to put your couch here and you want to put your kitchen sink there.
So it's a bit like Feng Shui. Yes.
It's like the opposite, I think, of Feng Shui. Is what you're telling us.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever.
So you can literally put whatever sort of application structure.
You can start exactly. So you can start with what you have and migrate from there. But the point is, if you are starting new, then the programming models we provide are a good starting point. And as we look towards the future, of course, the other one we love, ASP.NET Core.
Of course.
Fabulous. Build a lot of apps for that, run them on Service Fabric. And as we look towards the future as well, we want to make ourselves .NET Standard compliant, so you can bring all of those as well. And we also want to be able to enhance and bring other programming languages as well. So you can run them today, but we want to make other ones first class. And that's the direction we're going.
It's a good thing he works at Microsoft.
It's a good thing he came on this show. Because otherwise, honestly, it's like the only useful information in this show is coming from him.
Not so much this area.
Like,
it's not that, but more like this
look how
area.
stretchy my jeans are.
All right, serious question to Rob.
All right, we got a serious question.
Can you discuss about management and monitoring for Azure Service Fabric?
I think that's Service Fabric specific. Is that okay?
Is it?
Oh, I mean, I guess it could be ACS too, but.
I mean, it could be all up. So why don't you start with Service Fabric? I'll give it a little bit all up.
Love it.
Okay, we've done a whole bunch of work recently to integrate with App Insights. Fabulous technology. You can go into the portal now when you create a cluster and you can type in App Insights ID and it will automatically configure all your diagnostics to be pushed up to App Insights ID. You can go into your application and we have this technology called Event Flow that allows you to configure any input of how you write an event and how it goes pushed out to App Insights or to Elk or whatever you want to do. So those combination allow us to push all your application diagnostics as well as the system diagnostics from Service Fabric through to App Insights. The other one as well is OMS integration. Have you seen what the OMS guys have done? Fabulous work about diagnosing containers.
Is that Operation Management Suite?
That's all hooks up as well.
I want to sound smart, like at least for 30 seconds.
Operation Management Suite. Is there something that you know things about that you want to talk about?
I'm really good at making fake paper ripping sounds. That's about. That's.
You're a big fan of the Supergirl series, right? I think that's right.
I don't know. Maybe.
I
don't know if I want to admit it live on air. Right?
It's a fantastic show.
Is it?
It is.
Okay. You were going to go all up ACS on monitoring.
No. Well, he ended up answering a lot of those questions, which was like the OMS and App Insight story. Those are really the broad reach, right? So they have Service Fabric integration, but you can monitor and manage deployments experiences across the entire platform. So OMS, you can do support like patching support, you can do monitoring support, App Insights, you can do code-based support across things like app services and of course Service Fabric as well.
Yeah.
So
and I think there's also some great cool features in Visual Studio itself in terms of how they draw the application map now.
Well, we saw this today also with debugging as well. The debugging containers as well.
I think that. I mean, if you look at that debugging live in Visual Studio, it's like wow.
With multiple containers. I did see that. Steve Lasker showed this to me.
This was also in the keynote this morning. So it's as if you didn't watch the keynote.
I watched most of it.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was working.
I was busy.
There was some stuff I had to get done.
They weren't broadcasting anything because they were showing the keynote. What were you doing?
Question from a Code DJ.
My goodness.
Can the OS on Azure VMs be upgraded to Win 16 from Win 12?
Well, so I mean, you can spin up and basically replace the underlying OS of a running system to actually run through setup. I don't think you can actually run through setup to get because you can't attach media to it.
I see.
So that may be a problem. But you can.
Would it be better just to spin up a new one?
That's
and
well,
then
that's
just
right,
move
and
stuff
you can
over?
do migration that way. Yeah. So that's one approach.
I
got one
did
right.
something good, Mom. I got something right. We have only 7 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm going to ask like a really easy question. Like if I'm moving an application into a container type application and I've never done it before, what do you suggest?
Call Mark Fussell.
That's easy.
That's easy, right?
I'm like literally like
No.
the question is, so I want to build a distributed app. What do you suggest?
Yeah.
That's an easy. You could do that in 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. 7 minutes.
10 seconds, right, Mark?
Well,
Yes.
So one thing I'd say probably is this. I mean, I think, look, the nice thing about containers in general is they offer this breadth of functionality, right? So like you can take existing apps, existing solutions, you can containerize them, containerize them to your heart's content.
Any of them?
Yeah, for the most part, the answer is yes. Now, is that the full extent of modernizing the app? No, right? Like if you want to actually get to a microservice-based solution where multiple people can update things at different times and so on and take really full advantage of that environment, you need to do some work.
Sure.
But we have seen folks who basically take .NET, full framework, Windows Server solutions, containerize them. In fact, we showed this a little bit today.
Of course, I watched the whole thing.
You watched the whole keynote.
Yes.
Golly.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just wanted to make sure you called it out.
Sigh. Did I just say sigh?
No, I heard that there was something. I don't know.
And you can containerize and deploy, and then you can launch that onto any container platform. And then Service Fabric, of course, the one we showed this morning.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously with Greenfield, you can go and be very principled about it and be like, okay, we're having tiny. But look, everyone's working on code that, like, you look at and you're like, oh, geez, I got to figure out what's going on. How do we move those over in a principled way other than just, let's just put a container around the whole thing and screw it?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Well, I think, the containers is a great first step. I mean, another thing that we just added into Service Fabric is we put a DNS service inside there. So you just have, like, your containers, they have DNS support deployed and then run. Usually after that, it's usually down to two things. It's usually about scale and agility. It's how frequently am I trying to change this piece of code or how much trying to scale this particular thing out.
Got it.
And when you start to hit those particular bottlenecks, you then tend to ask yourself, am I doing something that's different and turning it into something that's more like a microservice? It's usually one of those two questions.
So call Mark, effectively, is what he's saying.
Call Mark.
That's what he said.
That's right.
Yes.
We will broadcast this phone number after this session.
Every bathroom will have the number.
Every
on
bathroom has it already. So,
all right. So 5 minutes.
Buttons on
We're
that.
just going to burn through questions until they're done.
Questions.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right,
hold on.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Hold on.
Everyone, get on your
brace yourselves.
Get ready.
Fire.
So from Chuck,
We should sing some songs too, maybe before we're done.
I wish we had a mic to drop. Can we get one that we could just be like?
Go and ask. Can we get a mic to drop, please?
He's giving me the stink eye.
We're in big trouble.
All right, so Chuck
in
says
big trouble.
new Cosmos DB offering is cool. In Azure Service Fabric, will there be
I
built-in
agree.
support for geo-redundant clusters? Run clusters in different data centers.
Booyah. That's a booyah
This
question.
is a booyah, yeah. So this is entirely Service Fabric is totally capable of this today. And
It's like I'm like, and he's like,
yes. Where we are working through on all of this is making sure that is sort of first class inside Azure itself.
Got it.
So we're working pretty close with the networking team to be able to make sure that the networking capabilities can support the fact that we can do networks across geo-regions. So in order to do that, so that's the direction we're heading. Yes, you will be able to do that. That's certainly the direction we're going to head. Yes.
Nice.
It's hard though. I mean, this is the thing. Like, not just from a platform perspective, but your app needs to be conscious of this because the long distance apart means data.
Yeah,
difficulties. And you got to figure out how your application is going to handle that data across those two different locations. So there's some things that will need to be understood. And obviously the Cosmos DB guys have solved that on top of Service Fabric.
Yeah.
But there may be aspects of your application that need to consider it. That's what you've moved on. You're tired of my answer, so let's move on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like you're saying a lot of stuff, and I'm asking a lot of questions. Next one, Tom. Love SF on-prem. Any plans on ensuring that SF cluster can come back to life after a total power loss?
It does. It does. You can go off. You can shut down all the machines.
Like he's just like.
You can shut down all the machines, and you can turn them all back on again, and the cluster will boot up again.
He's just like.
Yeah.
we would not recommend shutting power down to everything you've got.
No, just go test it right now.
Wait, no. Watch the rest of the show. We got 3 minutes,
So-
and then you can go test.
All right, Code DJ. No news since last year on Azure to Azure Site Recovery. Will it include Service Fabric for failover to a different region?
You should actually watch my session. My session, I talked about this. We did talk about the fact that we have a coming soon Azure to Azure site recovery.
But they will have to have another hour of you. Is that?
That's right. They have to. They have to deal with this guy for another hour, which is absolutely worth everyone's time. It is a session chock-a-block full of announcements.
I've never heard that word. Code DJ.
Chock-a-block, really?
What is that?
That's just. It means a lot of.
Oh, what is it? Is it like from East Coast? Is that
okay?
East
I don't have. I don't have time. It's actually in the movie Love Actually. If you watch that.
Well, can we watch it together maybe later
That's
today?
where that's from. If people are watching, am I allowed to say that? Is that a copyright violation?
Code DJ, since you mentioned VM inside of VM, can we download the VHD inside of VM and upgrade the OS? He's coming at you, bro.
It's just like
it's gonna be like that.
He's like one of the 3 people left watching, and he's like, we're just gonna hit these guys hard.
That's a complex question. VM inside
you should be able to.
Like I'm trying to like draw the diagram.
Wait, hold on.
That's a Russian doll thing.
And if I die inside that VM, do I die in real life?
Or I don't know. I mean, it depends on how long you're dead.
One of those Russian dolls, but they're VMs.
That's right. That's right.
And you take them all apart. Yeah,
we should do that.
The Russian doll VM.
Can we get some Russian dolls up here?
I'm still trying to figure out like this.
So I need a beer.
You know, like when you're talking about your family, it's like, no, your cousin's uncle's dad's mom, and you're like,
yeah, I don't have that, but yeah, okay.
You don't have a cousin's uncle's mom's
dad's mom. Yeah.
Mom's dad.
There you go.
Okay,
right.
got it. Okay, so now
I think the answer is yes, you can make that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long one.
Yeah, well.
Yes.
We don't have many questions left. We're really, I'm getting this signal out there. It's like,
nice.
Really stretch it out.
Oh, there's another question.
Oh, here's one more.
Patrick, from the networking side, what are the requirements? Can we connect from layer or layer 3? Can you talk about best practices? I don't even know what that means.
It doesn't surprise me that you don't know what that means.
Can we connect from layer 3? Layer 3?
Well, layer 3 is the baseline of the network. So it's really just layer 2 that doesn't work. Yes, that's just TCP/IP, right?
Yeah,
so
it is.
Yeah, that is the connection aspect of Service Fabric.
Are we talking about the OSI model
and
here?
then gateway to gateway ends up playing that out. So I think that works. And best practice is deploy your app there.
Next
I think
one.
we
No, we already did that one.
All right. Well done.
Yeah.
I feel like anything else you want to add before? I mean, people are taking their
5
last
seconds
sip.
in their last.
Just
they're
come
amazed
round
at
the
the
booth
show.
come around and ask us
This is awesome stuff. You should make T-shirts.
Come and see our handcrafted.
Good one. They are amazed that this show is still going. I am too. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Let me tell you before we go, we have a full slate tomorrow starting keynote at 8:30. 8:30. Keynote recap with Kevin Gallo. We have tons of other stuff, tons of news. Please stay tuned tomorrow starting at 8:30. I will be here much smarter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good night. No!
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. You guys are so mad at us.
Oh, my gosh. They really want us to leave. This is so sad.
Yo, look at us.